So let's have a look at the starting grid for heat number 3. Georgios Kafantaris, due to start 11th, will start from the dummy grid when everyone's gone through the start phase. It's the previous order as we've had for the previous 2 heats. With Sarkov's on pole, Shawman's alongside. Then it's Leon Zelenko. Austin Lee, who's won 2 heats so far. Can he make it a clean sweep today? He's done it before. Mikkel Pedersen and Alberto Kiko Fracassi rounding out the top 3 rows. Enzo Bol and Dion van Verven rounding out the top 8. With Tommy van der Stroys and Boluet completing the top 10. Georgios Kafantaris starting from the pre-grid. So Aaron Krepsik will be alone on row 6. Leandro Fischer and Max Cuthbert, row 7. Scott Marsh and Maxim Sechurko, row 8. Aljas Vidmar and Martin Ernesto Varga, row 9. Completing the top 20, it's Maximilian Schreier and Vic Stevens. Lotus Tveen, Tino Sidler, Sebastian Koch, Olivier Jonkers, Thomas Rudokas, Christoph Sala and Noah Janssen rounding out the 27-strong grid. So it looks like we also, apart from Kafantaris not starting from the dummy grid, no Olivier Jonkers, no Christoph Sala. So we're going to be down to effectively 25 out of the 27 drivers. Now Austin Lee has got 2 wins out of 2. If he makes it 3 in a row, he's on pole position for the first final tomorrow. There are some mountains to climb, and one especially is in the way of a certain Scott Marsh, who is starting on row number 8 on the inside in 15th position. As we wait for a few of the stragglers at the back of the field, they've got to get there quickly. As now the top 2 lead them through into the tram lines we go. Lights are out, they have let them go. And Kafantaris has to patiently wait. So when everyone has gone through, the last driver, which is the 216 of Aljas Vidmar, as Kafantaris creeps forward and now is released. So due to his engine not starting up, might have had a little bit of a problem with that. So that's why he wasn't able to be allowed to get out. If he didn't get out in time with the others, then he would not have had the opportunity . So now through into turn number 11. Austin Lee is not in second position. Where is he? He's in 4th at the moment. As everyone's trying to bump over the curbs, Tommy van der Stroys gets through on Austin Lee, and I think also Mikkel Pedersen just did as well. So they managed to get their way through. So as they filter their way across the line, Gustav Zusarkov's yellow flags, as we have had a rearrangement of the barriers. There is a driver actually behind them. So yellow flags, full course yellow has been employed. And there is one driver standing behind the barriers. That looks to be possibly Vic Stevens from the 269 from Dams Racing. So 5 minutes and 12 seconds remaining on the clock. We're down to 24 drivers. So the race has effectively been neutralised, and from that perspective, it is going to change the dynamic of this race. Everyone will be instructed to slow. Everyone will start closing up. The accordion effect will happen. And then once everything is clear, the driver is then escorted to safety. We will be back under green flag conditions. So 24 runners still circulating as we complete lap number 2 under the full course caution. Slow boards and yellow flags out at every single marshal post on the circuit. So great job by the marshalling crew here at Wackersdorf. So it will be down to when Usakovs decides to bolt, and then how Zelenko, Shormans, Van der Stoys, who is now up into 4th position. He's got an opportunity to get a race win here today. So the drivers making their way towards turns 13 and 14. Right, very shortly we might get green flag racing underway. Green flag being brandished. And we're back under full racing speed. Usakovs leads. Zelenko, Shormans, Van der Stoys pounces up the inside of the pair of them, goes for second through turn 3. And he got through on one of them. He nearly had the pair of them going through turn 3, but he managed to slide into 3rd position. And now Mikkel Pedersen, I think, might be in 5th position. Austin Lee dropping to 6th place, but Tommy Van der Stoys now up into 3rd. Pedersen up the inside of Shormans, and also Van der Stoys, who goes wide and onto the grass and onto the dirt. Those tyres have gotten very, very dirty very quickly. So Van der Stoys really had an opportunity. Austin Lee gets through and touches with Mikkel Pedersen through turn number 9. Very, very close indeed, but they managed to relatively stay unscathed. Van der Stoys has got the likes of Sechurko, Dion van Verven to the outside as they go through, and there's been a turnaround. That's Mikkel Pedersen round the 2:55 from Denmark, I believe. Oh my goodness. It's really, really caught everyone unawares. And Mikkel Pedersen, and also one of the Lithuanian drivers, is out. That could be, I think, 226. No, that's 235. That's Sechurko, who's had 2 great finishes so far. Lithuanian out on the spot. But now Leon Zelenko leads the race. He's overtaken Gustav Usakovs, who's secured 2 pole positions this season. And 3rd is Kasper Schormans, Austin Lee, Dion van Verven, Tommy Van der Stoys, and a banzai move from Scott Marsh. Scott Marsh has profited whilst everyone's lost their head a little bit. Everyone's come together and had an unfortunate contact, but now he's made his way up into 9th position. Max Cuthbert now rounds out the top 10. They're being followed. It's no longer, that's Enzo Boll that's got through on Max Cuthbert. Thomas Rudokas rounds out what will be the top 11 as they go through turn number 11 once again. A minute and a half remaining. There are still some battles to be waged, as Tino Sidler's got his hands full at the moment. That will be with Martin Ernesto Varga, who's done a little bit of a liberty take on the Martini sign on the back of the race helmet. But Zelenko leads by nearly 6/10 ahead of Gustav Usakovs. Kasper Schormans rounds out the top 3. Enzo Boll has dropped to 10th place. Maxim Sechurko, unfortunately, out on the spot. So the Lithuanian, after 2 top 10 finishes, has to sit at the sidelines for the rest of the race. There are still squabbles happening up and down the order. Thomas Rudokas trying to get a little bit closer to Enzo Boll. Rudokas has been just outside of the top 10, has a chance of getting past Enzo Boll. But that's if he can catch the Dutch driver napping. That's easier said than done with the 2:04. Now, Rudokas makes the move. Up the inside, through into 10th position. Goes the 2:26 from Lithuania. 25 seconds on the clock remaining. So the next time when Leon Zelenko, who's now about to cross the start-finish line, goes on to the penultimate lap. Lap 6 in the books, lap 7 underway. Lead now, it stretches to just over 8.5 tenths of a second. Kasper Schormans a further second back. Austin Lee, 2-time race winner. No one else can get two race wins. But if he stays where he is, I think he probably will secure pole position for tomorrow's first final. The timer has expired after 7 minutes. We're on to the penultimate lap of this race, and Zelenko, once he hit the front, he nearly got banzaied by Tommy Van der Stoys, who again is looking to have a consistent run. Well, actually, he's trying to do more than that. He's just got past Dion van Verven through into turn 9. The 270 on the CRG trying to get past, but Van der Stoys manages to get through and keeps ahead going into turn number 11 for the penultimate time. One of the other things that drivers with this sunshine, if they're going into turn number 11, if there's water on the circuit, they will have a little bit of glare coming up, and that might slightly affect their peripheral vision, but they'll understand what the car's doing underneath them. Onto the final lap we go. Zelenko leading. now by just under 9/10 of a second. Casper Schomans and Austin Lee round out the top 4. Tommy van der Stroy is now P5. 2, 6 in the fifth. That'll place him very, very well indeed. So Aljaž Vidmar becomes the latest casualty. So we're going to be ending up with 2. Now, there is someone I think might have just slowed there. Or someone who is actually being lapped at the moment. And that will be Leandro Fischer from KAF Motorsport. I recognise the livery. I wasn't too sure who the driver was. But very soon. So blue flags are being waved on the circuit. And that will be 233, who is calmly getting out of the way. But the checkered flag this time will wave. 2 wins out of 2. Well, 1 win now. But Tommy van der Stroy has got past Austin Lee. Trying to do the crossover. It's the 272. There is going to be a drag race to the finish. Zelenko takes the victory. And nip and tuck. And it is Tommy van der Stroy who pips Austin Lee for 4th position behind Gustav Zusakovs and Casper Schomans by 53 thousandths. So Austin Lee takes 2 wins and a 5th. Dion van Verven, Alberto Kiko Fracassi, Scott Marsh makes a good resurgence up to 8th ahead of fellow Brit Max Cuthbert, Thomas Rudorkas, Boluat, Aaron Krepsik, Tino Sidler, Martin Ernesto Varga and Mikkel Pedersen, who had that turnaround earlier on in the race, ended up 15th. So 2 different winners, but more importantly, it's from the same stable, JJ Racing, stamping their authority on proceedings this weekend, with Austin Lee taking 2 wins and now a 3rd one in the form of Leon Zelenko. From 16th downward, Enzo Boll in 16th, Lotus Tween, Noah Janssen, Sebastian Koch, Georgios Kafantaris, starting from the dummy grid, would end up 20th ahead of Maximilian Chaya, with Leandro Fischer being the final driver completing the race a lap down off of the leaders, with Aljaž Vidmar, Maxim Sachurko, Vic Stevens unfortunately out on the first lap, which brought out the full course yellow, with Olivier Jonkers not taking part, and neither was Christoph Saller.